Well, hello, you, my fellow gamers and hobbyist enthusiasts and game masters and members of the brigade. What is this? Day 15 of the RPG a Day challenge for 2017. The question would be, which RPG do you enjoy adapting the most? Hmm, now, enjoy adapting or find yourself needing to adapt the most? That was my debate in my head over this particular question, which one was the actual intent behind it. Well, fortunately, I'd have to say that there are a lot of game systems that I have to adapt for my own reasons. Then there's a lot that I don't. But that's not how I took the question. The one I enjoy adapting the most. Well, hmm, question I don't enjoy adapting, but my previous question I waved a couple player handbooks and I said well I found 3.5 much heavily used, much abused version. I had a newer version of it, a newer book, and I mailed it recently to a good friend of mine, so he'd have one. 2.0, the second edition, and the intermediary 3.0. And although the nuances between all these, you know, let me know where I like that, right? A lot of change, a lot of adaptability here, a lot of modification options. Well, what I like to do, and I do this usually when I get new players, uh, and this is from years ago, so things may have changed. Most of the people I have actually had an opportunity over the last, let's say, 3 or 4 years ago, to have a couple players who'd never played an RPG in their lives step in, and they were young people. They were, in the under 25 category, and it was a challenge because they were all used to the console video game stuff, and they always saw this stuff but kind of avoided it as being, I don't know, cliche or overused or boring or too much work because they'd actually have to do some things and some thinking, and the game the Game Boy or the Nintendo or whatever is not going to provide 99% of the stuff that they need. Um, didn't matter what game system we came up with, from what manufacturer, if it was set in a hack and slash, sword or sorcery kind of world, you could take the game material, the story material from that system, and you could take the game mechanics from this system, from any one of these versions, any one of these versions, and overlay them without any effort, without any work, without any adaptation. And somebody will go, "Oh, you got to change the world." No, no, that's just it. You don't. Uh, Pathfinder. I love picking up Pathfinder because, well, it's a clone of D&D, and everybody, a lot of people out there swear up and down to something new and fantastic. I'm sorry, it is what it is. And B, I ain't got it, and I'm not going to get it, and I can't afford to catch up with it and invest in it now, so I'm not going to bother unless somebody hands me a pile of them someday. But let's look at that for a minute. What I'm saying is, I can take your source material, your Pathfinder fiends. I can take your source book material and your world material and overlay it over D&D's rulebook. I can take Dungeons and Dragons, the GM Master, and the GM Master, the Monster Manual, and the Player's Handbook, and utilize those and those rules and those mechanics to play Pathfinder. And of course, oh my God, you can't do that because it's not longer Pathfinder. Bull, bull hockey, my friend. Bull hockey. It is still Pathfinder if I play in the Pathfinder world. That was something that the Rifts people tried to play or pull back in the day, and it worked to some degree. The idea there being was that they gave you some base rules, a core set of rules that were applicable to any situation for the rule or for the game worlds. So you could have a hack and slash and then jump a planular jump by whatever and end up in a Civil War setting from the 1800s and then leap over into their version of Star Wars. And the concept was that the rules applied and the story based material applied from the other game systems. So you could take all this stuff and work it together. And that's what I mean by uh, adapting the most. I adapt it to suit my needs at the time, especially when I have a lot of people who are already familiar with the system. It's just much easier than sitting down and trying to teach and even in some cases learn from the get-go as we play a new set of rules and mechanics. Now, that's not to say that it's not possible. We all do it. It is possible. I could sit down with the core book and a player handbook or whatever the Pathfinder version of that is, and fumble my way through it because once again, no matter how they change the packaging, no matter how they tweak the mechanics, how finally they adjust the nuances, the spirit of the game's always the same, and the concepts there. So if you need to know someplace somewhere, if your character wants to use a rope to climb a wall, you need some mechanics for it. Well, if you've played one, you've played them all, so you know that somewhere, someplace, there's a skill set or a feat or a GM ruling that allows you to accomplish what you need to accomplish. It's just a matter of locating it, interpreting it, and doing so in a timely manner so it doesn't bog the damn game down, which sometimes it does. So there you have it. My choice for question 15.